Welcome to Senior Living Marketing Perspectives. I'm Debbie Howard with Senior Living Smart, and today I am joined by Kiera DesChamps, a passionate leader, trainer, and growth strategist with 30 years of experience spanning higher education, executive leadership, and business development. She's also the author of After the Tour, where senior living decisions are really made. Welcome, Kiera.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's an honor
Oh, so
to
glad
be
to
here
have
with you.
so glad to have you on because you're talking about something that I'm like super passionate about.
Yeah.
Um, you know, Operators focus so heavily on getting prospects to tour.
Yeah.
Um, and yet there's this huge kind of missed opportunity.
Yeah.
It's not just about more leads, you know, more tours. It's it's so much more than that. It's so much more nuanced, and it's such a big
Right.
decision. So, what I'd love to start with is kind of, what brought you to write a book about this part of the prospect journey specifically, and
Yeah.
why do you believe that the real opportunity and risk begins after the tour?
Oh, wow. Yes. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, and congratulations on your book as well. There are
Thank
some great
you.
nuggets here, so I always like to make sure I'm able to connect and, not be redundant in books, but be able to be an extension. And so
Right?
there's a lot of things that you talk about in your book as well that I'm like, yes, yes, Deborah, yes. So anyway, I think one of the things is, yes, I did write the book after the tour, and I believe it came to me one day. I'm saying these are the things I'm saying all the time. I'm always talking with sales leaders, marketing teams, operators, developers. I've been doing this for over 10 years in the senior living space. And I was like, I could probably reach more people if I wrote it down.
That's right.
Like that way my elevator speech and my soapbox, gets spread out. But I thought it was really important to really break down some of the stories that I have seen and I have experienced from the other side, right? So like you've been in the industry, you've been in the communities, you've been sales, you've done all the things. I have not.
Yeah.
I've been in their homes. I've been in the clients at their dining room tables. I've sat with them in their most vulnerable places, or I've had conversations where they're saying things about the community, or they're saying things about the salesperson, or I wish they did this. So I get that other side. And so I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I want to be right in the middle. I want to be able to bridge that gap with senior living, the sales team. I want to be an extension of their team, but at the same time, helping that, client, that prospect have a seamless transition into what they want to do. So I was able to kind of find that spot, right, where I can help both. Let's bridge the gap. Let's figure out how we can work together,
Yeah.
and I can kind of give you those secrets from afar. This is what they're really saying. This is what they're saying. This is what they don't really like.
That's right. That's right. So, from your experience in having those conversations and listening at the kitchen table, like what are the most common reasons that qualified prospects don't move forward,
Yeah.
even when they say, "Oh, we love the community," right? You
Oh,
finish
yeah.
a tour, you walk them
Yeah.
out, everyone's hugging. It's like, "Oh, that's great. I loved it. I'll call you back." And
Oh
then
my goodness.
silence.
I mean, I love the communities. They're gorgeous. I mean, I've been to so many across the US, but the biggest, and they love your communities. They love the team. It's all of those amenities, all the things. It's just now I don't know how I'm going to get there. Like, I don't have a sense of there's a pile of resources. I've been to 5 communities. I've done 5 tours. So, and they've each given me 5 packets of financials and numbers and vendors and who's moving and who's out. It's all of that. And so
Yeah.
now I'm sitting at their dining room table with them going, holy cow, which one of these are you going to? Oh, you know what? You just cost me, another year or 2 years from moving in because it's just too much information. It's just,
Yeah.
and everybody, rightfully so, the communities, they feel as if they're helping. They do feel, hey, I'm giving you resources. I'm going
Yeah.
to give you a list of resources because we want you to make the decision. We want you to make the choice. That's great. But just remember, there's five other places that are doing the same thing. And
Yeah.
now you've just given me a ton of homework to do. I don't know who to call first. I don't know what the pricing should be. I don't even know what questions to ask. I'm
Yeah.
so overwhelmed. And then if you're also asking an adult child to help you, holy cow, I have a full-time job. And now you're asking me to call all these places. It just keeps piling up. So I say in the book a lot, it's not you. It's just
Yeah.
that I don't have a guide. I don't have a trusted partner. I don't have someone that's helping me through the process and building this process into your sales flow. Like just
Mhm.
making it a part of what you do. That's what I highly recommend, building in programs that are already set for your prospects.
So walk us through that. What would some of these programs be, and how could that salesperson who's competing with four other communities
Yeah.
become that trusted guide and that advocate for that family?
Oh, absolutely. If I'm looking at a pile of five, I'm trying to figure out which one of these communities are going to help me the most. And it's probably that community that is going to offer some type of, we will pay X amount of dollars towards your move in. Not after you've moved in, I give you a refund. It's no, no, no. We're going to take care of some of this for you up front. And and we have a trusted provider that we've already vetted out for you. As a matter of fact, Deborah, let me get you on the call. Let me introduce you to them, have a warm introduction. Oh, you have a lot of artwork. Guess what? We have someone that, local community, this is what they do. Let us connect you personally and make sure that that process is a handheld, guided process all the way through. Because if you just give out a bunch of numbers and you're hoping that they're going to call all those places, it's probably not going to happen. So you have to be forward thinking and bring them there to talk. And I talk to, like, my background is professional counseling.
Yeah.
So I talk about how therapists and case managers, the best case manager is the person with the best resources. Like, you're no good to me if you can't help me with anything. Like, what? You're just giving me a bunch of numbers. But if I can make introductions and I can tell you who my insurance guy is, the person who does my lawn, the person who helps me, the daycare in the neighborhood, if I can make that introduction to you and I can help guide you through that process, nine times out of 10, it's like, whoo, you just took so much off of my plate. And it's not forcing them to use the people that you recommend, but oh my gosh, you just helped me jump to the top of the list and I don't have to go through this entire process by myself.
Yeah. So you find that a lot of the kind of the overwhelm is around logistics.
Oh, absolutely. And this helps to remove those barriers. And I talk about, we already know what the issues are. Like, we already know. Like, you've been in this industry for quite some time. I'm a baby in the community of 10 years or so, right?
Yep.
But we know the barriers. We know the emotional barriers, the logistical barriers. Fine. We already know. So why not have solutions in place in advance to solve for those barriers?
So step number one is really creating your network
Yeah.
and having a really tangible program that's more than handing people a packet or business
Yeah.
cards.
Right.
But it's really that white glove, caring, connecting, orchestrating
Yes.
introductions, and
Absolutely.
just the message of you don't have to do this alone.
No, absolutely not. And it's the message of your community that they're saying, we've been waiting for you. We've thought about you a long time and we prepared for this. So I talk about, like, again, after the tour. I talk about after the tour, but really the after the tour starts at discovery. So you're already having these conversations with them in advance. When they first, your initial call, we're talking, you're getting all of your preliminary questions answered, but somewhere in there, it's saying, guess what? And when it's time for logistics, and if you're starting to think about these things, we have that in place for you as well. So when
Mm-hmm.
you're ready to talk about it, we will talk to you about the downsizing. Don't worry about a thing. You've got a lot to deal with. We're going to take it one step at a time with you, and you're just building that roadmap. And all along the way, you're building in those logistical support and resources to take them through.
Yeah, I really love the idea of really planning for the tour at their first point of entry with the brand, right? Not
Absolutely.
waiting until they
Yes.
take that step, because you're empowering people who maybe are unsure, but they can say, well, this community has this whole package program for
Yes.
me.
Absolutely.
Might shorten my decision cycle,
It
or
will, because
yeah,
there's I was coaching with a salesperson, and I was teaching a team, and the speed to lead was great.
yeah,
I can get the call back, but how long does it take for me to get them to the community to tour?
right,
So that we were focusing on shortening that period, because this particular salesperson, she was so great at closing, but she had to get them there first.
right,
So getting them to tour was the biggest gap. But once she got them there and once she was able to help, so we focused on that piece. And that piece was really about providing the resources in advance. You
yeah,
haven't met them yet. It's okay. They haven't been to your community yet. It's okay. It doesn't mean you still can't provide resources for them and say, hey, I can introduce you to so and so. I know you haven't been here yet, but like you mentioned this on the phone. So I'm going to put you in touch with whoever it is that whatever the problem is, we
yeah,
solve for it. Whatever it
yeah.
is, we figure it out for
No, I love that because it really also aligns marketing with sales. So,
Mhm.
as much as, 50% of the decision and 50% of the touch points to that decision journey happen in the marketing stage. The
Yeah.
other half happens in the sales stage. And I think sometimes a mistake that people make is to think that they have to wait until a certain sales qualified lead point of the journey to start talking about transitional support and other things.
Yes.
Like, no, bring your marketing team in and have them create, the
Automatic.
resources. Yeah.
Yes, let it be built in right away. If I see sometimes I work with 55 plus, and they may have the home on the, online. You see homes
Yeah.
online, how much they are. Right in there, just say, and we provide up to such and such an amount for move-in assistance, or just tell them that, then the price, and that might make somebody go, oh wow, and they help me with moving in. I don't have to think about anything.
Yeah.
So that may and that's the whole point, is to accelerate the sales cycle, right? To really close faster. But the more we have things in place ahead of time, I mean, I'm telling you, it does just like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And how much of this has changed, or what has changed in the last 5 years? Because you talk about kind of the information overwhelm. And of
Hmm.
course, and with AI, they can tell you everything you need to know
Yeah.
about every community
Yeah.
without you having to visit.
Yeah.
So I guess, how do you see that changing the prospect kind of journey to decision? And then also, the other part of that is we know that only a small portion, I mean, decisions are really made emotionally and supported with information and intellect. And I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of times we've reversed that. And we're just like, well, they seem to be stuck. I just have to give them more stuff. I got to tell them
Yeah.
more reasons
Oh,
to move in,
right.
instead of really helping them overcome that emotional resistance. So take us through that from your counseling perspective.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I created the leader model, is because in that, the L is for listening, of course.
Yeah.
The E is engaging. A is adapting, because and then the D is delivering. And then, of course, the ER is executing revenue. So I like to spend a little time on the adapting and delivering, because sometimes we're so stuck to a script, and we're so stuck to, well, like you just said earlier, well, we got to get them to this phase first, then we'll introduce this information, or we don't want to overwhelm them with everything up front, so we're going to wait until they make a financial decision, and then we're going. So sometimes I would hear that with sales, and I'm like, well, so to explain it to me. So I've learned a lot just by
Yeah.
interviewing and talking to sales and marketing teams. I was like, explain to me that concept of, why do you need to wait until you get a financial decision to talk to them about the logistics? Well, we don't want to overwhelm them. We just feel like it's just too much information. We don't want them thinking about that. I'm like, are you serious? They've been thinking about this for 3, 4 years.
That's
Like,
right.
they're already thinking about it. Like,
Right.
you're not bringing anything up that they haven't thought about. So
Right.
why not join them in this conversation and say, I know this is overwhelming. I'm sure you probably thought a lot of things, but here's what we have and how we're going to support you. And so I'm always pushing to just bring it up. I promise you, they're already thinking about it. So that adapting is being able to adapt the way you've always done it. Even though it worked for these 10 people, it may not work for these five. So somewhere in here, you may need to adjust what the norm is and adapt to that particular client. And then
Yeah.
delivering, we have to follow through. And I know you
Yeah.
talk about that in your book as well. And it's not just a checking in because I've done some audits on I've done audits on CRMs, and it's
Yeah.
just checking in, left a message, checking in, checking in. I'm like, what are you checking in? What are you doing?
Right.
What does that mean?
Yeah, that's right.
What does checking in mean? Is it specific to, I heard you got out of rehab, let me send you a card. I was going to drop off some cookies because this happened. Or you mentioned something about all of the woodwork things that you have and thinking about selling those things. I just want to introduce you to John, who has a shop. Whatever it is, it's intentional, but you're delivering because you've done such a great discovery in listening.
Yeah.
You've done such a great discovery and you're listening more about what's going on in their life, not so much how you want to adjust, how you're trying to sell the community.
Yeah.
And one of the things I talk about in the training is don't get caught up in just selling the community that you miss the client.
Yeah.
You miss it because they're sharing with you how much they love their garden and their courtyard and their flowers and their plants, and they're telling you all of this. But because you're trying to sell, you go
Yeah.
right to, well, we have a garden at the community. I want to show you the garden here. And I want to show you. And it's like, and I have a lady I want to introduce you to. And it's like, wait. Stay right here with them.
Yeah.
Learn a little bit about the types of plants they like, or where are the plants? How many do they have? Whatever it is, and then begin to start that journey with them about where would you put your plants here? Or do you think,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Same thing with woodwork, people who have art. Sometimes we just say, we got books. We've got books at the community. We got a library. You can bring it.
So part of
Wait, hold
it,
on.
it sounds like so much of this is just have really putting the prospect at the center rather than the outcome at the center. Like you've got to
Absolutely.
give up the control of the outcome to stay present and
Yes.
help people work through really a lot of emotional resistance and ambivalence about making the decision.
Oh, absolutely. And I give a lot of credit. Like sales and marketing teams work very hard. I mean, I've followed them through communities. I've been in their space, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like you have so much to do.
Yeah.
And they're professionals and love what they do. And I understand that they may not particularly have the logistical training or experience, right? That's where I've lived my side of the world, right? So when somebody's talking to me and they say something about their woodwork, or they say something about their art, or they say something about their basement or attic, automatically in my brain, I'm like, they've got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
away, I already know I've lived that space and I know what they're saying. A salesperson may not pick up on that, right?
Yeah.
So what I teach is are how to pick up on the logistical cues. There are cues that while you're taking them through the community, they're saying, but you're missing.
Yeah.
So I may hear it because my ear is trained for that,
Yeah.
but you're going to miss it. And now you've missed the client because you're focused on the model apartment or whatever you're taking them through. So that's where it's like a pause. And that's where I feel like I fit into this space because I can give certain cues when they're saying this, you need to explore it because they're letting you know right now they're not moving until this is taken care of.
Yeah.
So your focus needs to be, how do I help them get that taken care of? And I don't care if it's a used model car. I don't care if it's a shed. I don't care if it's 10 storage units. You need to figure out a solution with your partnerships, how to help them resolve that, or you're never going to get them here. No
Yeah.
matter how many presentations, beautiful chef, wine down Wednesday, it doesn't matter.
Right. Because they're still thinking about that other thing that's
They're
just
still
sitting there,
they're
sitting on
stuck
them.
on that thing, and I do realize too that all salespeople they don't have the opportunity to do home visits, and so there are communities who do the home visits and they
Yeah.
see it and they go, oh, but even in a home visit,
Yeah.
you can miss the logistics of what needs to happen because you're not there for that. You're there just to get the sale, right?
Yeah.
So there are still pieces that miss. So I would say out of the 10 years or so that I've been doing this work and working with operators, there are a handful that build it in
Yeah.
and they are successful. They build it in. And of course, me, I'm like, this is rocket. This is not, this is, yes, you have to do it this way. Of course, it's working for them. They're never,
Yeah.
you know how you get on your soapbox?
Um,
Everybody should be doing this.
yes.
So there are, and I've worked with them and I've seen them work with their programs built in, and they're successful because it's
Yeah.
just right, it's just there. And then you're guiding them. Our clients don't want to be told what to do, but they would love some guidance. They would
Yeah.
love you to kind of show the way.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for you for all these years, so we've got a plan.
Yeah, I have to give a little plug to Live Now Relocation because Axe Retirement, which is
Yep.
consistently right around 100% occupied, they've
Yes.
got they've got waiting lists. They get 50% of their move-ins from their residents because they're so happy, and part of that starts with like Live Now vets all the
Yes.
realtors. 71% of realtors, licensed
Yep.
realtors, have not sold a house in the last year.
Right. Oh, wow.
71%. They make
That's a lot.
sure you do not want that realtor.
Right.
And so they make sure that they have in their network fully vetted people who are actively selling, the top producers, and then vetting
Yeah.
the moving companies and making sure the insurance and like everything else is there.
Taking care of all the hard work. I mean, it's
Yes,
things you're not going to think about that. Like, are they vetted and bonded and insured? Like, you're not going to automatically know that question. But
right.
if you get the partnerships that you trust,
Yep.
and so I've spent my time on the logistics side, very similar to
Yeah.
Live Now. I've spent my side, but like I said, I'm right in the middle of sales training.
Yeah.
I do a lot of the sales, training and help, and then teaching. You've got to find those people just like that. You have to
Yeah.
find those vendor partnerships, the relationships that are able to help you solve those problems. And another thing that I talk about in my book is that appreciate those partnerships, build good, trusting partnerships
Yeah.
because they are also your salespeople. Have to remember, even though we're coming by and we're dropping off crumble cookie and we're trying to get in the gate, I can't tell you that's a whole nother story. How many times I try to get through the front gate person or I'm trying to get to the salesperson. And sometimes vendors, they can feel annoying or they can feel like, oh, they're just another vendor. They're just trying to get a sale. But what they miss is, I'm in their home and they
That's
ask us
right.
questions and they ask us questions about, or they say things like, so and so, I like that community, but so and so never calls me back. Or so and so, I went there and they're trying to get me to do this and I didn't really like it. And they told me I could change the floor plan, but they didn't let. We hear those things as a vendor,
Yeah.
or sometimes they ask, well, what do you think about such and such community? Well, because I may have a great relationship with them, I could easily say, oh, I know Deborah.
Yeah.
And you know what? If she didn't call you back, I can tell you she will call you back. And in the meantime, I'm texting you going, girl, you need to call her back.
That's right. That's right.
But, there's that relationship because now I'm an extension of you, but I'm also an extension of this client. So you're right there trying to build. So I'm always saying, have some love and respect for the vendors
Yeah.
and make sure you're teaching them everything about your community and make sure you're catering to them because they're the ones that are going to go out in that community and they're going to say things about you that are positive or negative, but
Yep.
we see it and you hear about it at conferences, at networking event, like
Yep.
and I've heard a lot. And so sometimes I'm like, you don't know, you're talking to a vendor, I can
Yeah.
easily go out and go, don't go to that place.
That's right.
You don't ever want to go there.
People are talking about you positively or negatively when you know it or not. So you might as well control the narrative and have
Absolutely.
great relationships. So let's talk about other reasons that they get stuck after the tour. So how about just like the timing?
Yeah.
Not yet, not now, maybe in the
Yeah.
spring, one more holiday at home.
Yeah.
How do you work through those kinds of resistances?
Yeah. So because we're focused just on them moving there, you want to spend a little bit more time on those other things that they're talking about, why they're stuck. If it's one more holiday, wonderful. What is that holiday going to look? Which holiday would you like to have? Do you have the holiday things? And, explore a little bit about what that is that they're saying I need to wait for, and be that listening ear, stay there, because I guarantee there's going to be something there that you can still support them on. Oh my gosh, your family, you want to do a Thanksgiving? Oh, we're gonna have to make sure chef makes you a pie for that Thanksgiving meal, or something that caters to what they want, instead of, oh, while they're here, why don't you have them come to the community and tour? You guys can all tour together and I can share. It's like, no,
Yeah.
no, that's not what they're asking you. And then there's some where the adult child is out of town or they're not in town. They're like, I want to wait until my daughter comes. I was just working with a salesperson on that. And I said, well, bring the community to the daughter. And she's like, what do you mean? And it's like, no, show the daughter the tour. Like, take a picture, do a quick little video. So do a virtual call, take the community to her, because I think there was a snowstorm. There was a whole thing around Thanksgiving. And so the mom was like, well, I don't want to do anything because my daughter probably won't be here for about 2 or 3 more months. So it's like, okay, well, either you got to wait for the daughter to come
All right.
or go to the daughter. So it's those creative things that you think about. How do I, if the daughter is a decision maker, so we need to get to her. Pie, virtual, let me send you some pictures. What are some places you want to see that makes you feel comfortable for your mom or your parents to be here? Whatever it is, it's really about the creativity of meeting their needs and really focusing in, listening and engaging, adapting to that client, and not so much focus on the end result sale.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like your the leader model, and really I thank you for breaking it down. As I've been listening to you, it seems like there's a couple of adaptations that really are not that difficult to make. It's maybe just more of a shift of mindset, right?
Yeah,
So, one of the other ones that I used to train my sales team to do was to make sure that they did leave with those next steps, that they
yeah,
understood what was going to happen next. Because sometimes we get so excited to show around the community and get to know them. And then what we haven't really spent time with is like most of my career was in assisted living and memory care. So
right.
it was a needs-based rental model, right?
Yeah,
Lots of competition for that. But if sometimes things are very intuitive to us, like, oh, well, the next step would be a nursing assessment. They have no idea what a nursing assessment is. And if you don't break it down and
oh,
normalize it and everything,
yeah,
I've had people say, oh, it's a physical, is she going to have to take her clothes off? And, we use these terms. They're very familiar to us, right?
yeah,
It's an
very.
opportunity for the nurse to visit with your mom, to learn her routines, see what
Yeah,
care is gonna be
yeah. I
best
got
for
to clean up
her.
my home. I got to get there. Everything's, yeah,
That word
absolutely.
sounds scary. We're going to send a nurse out to assess you. It's
Yeah,
like, what happens if I don't pass?
right. What are they
And
looking for? What are they
right.
assessing?
Yes, exactly. So I do think that somehow we have to leave people with, hey, this is what you can expect next, and this is
Yeah,
what it means,
yeah,
and kind of how the process goes. But a lot of times we think we're going to do that in the follow up. We're going
right.
to say, hey, you've toured other communities since we last spoke. You mentioned you were going to this place next. I'd love to know what that was about. But sometimes
Yeah,
we don't get that follow up next opportunity because they don't answer the phone when we call.
Absolutely.
And meanwhile, they're sitting with this big uncertainty about the next step.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was speaking with a team and I was asking them to walk me through their process. Because it doesn't matter if it's senior living. I have other clients that I work with, just business. I'm
Yeah,
always saying that's too many barriers.
yeah,
It shouldn't be this difficult. Like
yeah,
when I hit this button, why is it making me find a login and a password? We got to figure out another way. Like we
yeah,
can't, well, you got to log in. So that's one more password I have to fine. Like if
Yeah.
you're trying to get to the client, how do we reduce those barriers? And so I was talking, I think it was in assisted living, and they were walking me through the process. And I said, then what happens? Like, oh, then they have this assessment. And then we give them a packet that they've got to fill out. And I said, okay, what's the packet? Oh, the packet's like 60 pages. What?
Isn't that
What?
crazy?
Wait a minute. I'm like, 60 pages of what?
What?
I'm like, you give me 60 pages. What? And I'm like, 60. I'm like, who helps them through that? Like, is somebody sitting down like a mortgage? I said, it sounds like a mortgage payment. What?
Yeah.
Is somebody sitting down? Like, well, no, some people just take it and like, I'm never moving in.
Right. You've
That's
made it so
another
difficult.
I'm like, that's another barrier. Like, what in the world? And then, of course, I had a couple of salespeople like, well, I usually sit with them. But even that, it's a lot. And I said, well, is there a video that you're going over with? Is somebody doing a screen share and talking through to I'm like, come on, we got to figure out. And so that's one of the things we talked about. Like, what if you did this? And what if and I'm like, they're like, oh yeah. I said, sometimes we have to get out of what we're doing and step on the other side.
Yeah.
We've got to go to the other side and say, here you go. Here's 60 pages. Go forth, fill it out, get it back to us so we can move you in. And by the way, here's another packet of all the movers in town and all the downside. Like, what? Do you want me to move in or do you not? Like,
Yeah.
do you want me here? Like, show me you want me to be here.
Yeah. It's
Because
crazy.
that's torture. And I think again, that's the adapting, right? It's this is what we've always done. This
Yeah.
is we have to have all this paperwork. And of course, some of it because of insurance purposes. I get it. But it's like this is what we've always done. This is the way it is it's 60 pages printed out in a package in a book. That's what we've always done. And it's being able to have the freedom and the knowledge of guys, we got to get in the think tank. We got to figure out a better way
Yeah.
because this is a barrier in itself. So it took me 3 years to finally get to you. You've spent all this money on me with direct mail, all the ads. You've done all that. It took me 2 to 3 years to get to your community to tour. And then I've got all these other barriers. Now it's going to take another year or two, unless it's a health issue, right?
Yeah.
Now it's going to take me another year or two just to figure, like somewhere in here, we've got to close the gap. We've got to take those barriers, we've got to remove them. And some of them are very practical, simple things, right, than
Yeah.
others. How can we reduce this and make it less painful for people to get here? It's like, do you want me to come or do you not want me to come?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it shocks me how still everything is so manual. And, I think it's because this is the system, first of all, that we've always had. And second of all,
Yeah.
it works for us. It'd be really helpful for us to get all of this paperwork all up front so we can button up what we need to do.
Yeah.
It's not really prospect focus. It's
No, it's because
not
I
for
got to
the,
close. I'm trying to get this move in before the end of the month. So we got to
yeah.
hurry and get this done.
That's right. That's right. But if you sit through it and say, what do we really need in order to just get to that next step of lease signing?
Hmm.
And that's the other big barrier. After you fill out the 60 pages, then you still have to sit with an executive director and sit through
Yeah.
another 60-page lease signing,
Yeah.
which you could do digitally. All this stuff could be done digitally.
Yeah.
It could be sent in advance so that people could come to the lease signing with it highlighted, so you don't have to read through the whole lease. You can just go to
Yeah.
the highlighted questions.
Yeah.
There's so many better ways of doing it, and I think everything has to be couched in is this the best experience for the family who is stressed
Yeah.
out, especially in needs-based senior living? Is this the best? Do we really need this now? Like
Right.
with my mom, they had me do like a 15-page life history, all
Hmm.
handwritten.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
And then we moved in, ran into the activity director who said, "Oh, I can't wait to learn about your mom and, what she enjoys doing." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?
Like,
Like, really?"
did you not read the report? You
I
didn't get
wrote,
the email?
I wrote this thing out. So, is the paperwork, number one, necessary? And
Yeah.
do you need it now?
Right.
And how could we make the experience better through
Yes.
digital, through videos, through somebody walking through? I love
Yes.
that adaptation.
Oh, absolutely. And not being afraid to think outside the box, and I know that, sales teams, they have to, a lot of them don't, may not have the autonomy to change it up, or, they have to put their notes in a certain amount of time. And there's a lot of those types of things that are happening. But being able to have the autonomy to be able to say, hey, I did this client, this prospect, I had to do things a little differently for them. And it being okay, so being able to have those conversations, is there some freedom in me making some adjustments and adapting, because not all prospects are the same. And so there's something different, that I need to do. I remember talking to this one salesperson. He's like, I take the stuff to the hospital with me. I go, and he's just like all over. And I'm like, wow, you're an anomaly, because
Yeah.
that does not happen. But he also has really high sales, high occupancy. That
Yeah.
he's like, oh no, I don't have to wait till the family. I will take it to them. I deliver it, or they're still at rehab, and I meet the family over there, and we get it all done. Whatever it is, I'm like, that's amazing. But not everybody can do that, right? Not
Right.
everybody has the autonomy. So it's like, how can we make sure these things get done? What does that look like as a structure in senior living? What does that look like in the operational what does that look like if we could do things a little bit differently?
Yeah. Even
It
breaking them
doesn't.
down into bite-sized pieces will really
Yeah.
help the family say, look, you know what, today, let's just do this.
Yeah. Or a video tutorial.
Yeah.
Like, somebody just doing a screen. Hey, just click that button. No sign-ins and logins. Just make sure it play. When I click the button, just play. So many.
Kiera really doesn't like her logins.
I'm like, another one? And my mom says it all the time. My mom just turned 82 January 3rd. And she's always like, I would love to do that, but they're going to make me do another login password, aren't they? I'm like, yeah, because everything is a login password.
Right.
But we also got to think about our clientele. It's another thing to remember, write down, fine. It's another thing. And so, how can we, as much as we can, lower that barrier for sure? And
Yeah.
you mentioned AI earlier. I think AI is wonderful in simplifying the processes, putting things together. I love the disclaimer at the end of your book when you said, here's what ChatGPT did, and this is my intellectual property.
That's right. They're
I love
different.
that. But I love the way chat, because I do the same thing. Like, I put all my ideas in, and then chat GPT says, and I'm like, yes, that's a great flow. And it helps me with that as well. But it doesn't give the human piece to it, right? So there's still the warm welcome call, the introduction call that I still need to make.
Yeah.
I don't need ChatGPT to do that. Help me with the processes, help me find where the gaps are, but we still need to make the warm introductions. We still need to make the home visit if possible. We
Yeah.
still need to do the cards, send the note, send the family. I had a one example with follow up. The son, oh, the parent was in rehab, and they were trying to wait for them to with their health and everything to get admitted, if they were going to accept or not. And she'd been talking to the son, and he's dealing with all these different things. And I said, you know what? She said, I call and I find out if he's ready. He said, oh, my dad's not ready. Oh, this is happening. I said, you know what? I said, I think you should send something to the son. Because think about it. He's the only child. Parent is in rehab. He's probably calling and trying to figure out all these places and things. People are probably calling him. I said, why don't you pause and find out from him, is there any support that we can give to you? Do you need a number? Do you want all of those things? And I said, maybe send him a card, or maybe have something sent to the son, just to say, hey, if there's anything, if you have any other questions, it may not have anything to do with the community. If there's anything that we can do to support you, we still have resources for you. So
Hmm.
being a resources, and it was just a shift of mindset in our conversation. She was just like, oh my gosh, that's such a great idea. I said, let's just pause, because he's the adult child trying to figure all this out. And just think, if a bottle of wine popped up, or just some cookies or something, hey, we're here for you to support, how much that would make a difference in somebody, whether they move there or not. It's still something, it's still a messaging, it's still a brand, right? I'm all about the
Hmm.
brand, but it's still something that they will tell the next person. Hey, my dad never went to that community, but they offered me so much support. They even sent cookies over just to be there for me as I was dealing with this. What brand identity, what message does that spin, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes we just write it off. Checking in, checking in. Oh, he's still in rehab. Next, next, next.
Yeah.
Wait, it's like pause. Let's stay with this for a second. Is there anything else that we can do to support or do something with this client before we just move on?
Yeah, I feel like in the age of AI, information has never been more accessible.
Hmm.
But I think where salespeople can really differentiate is being the most human. Whoever makes the most human, authentic connection to prospects is going to win. Yeah, I know when I was at Five Star, we created a red carpet tour experience, right? We wanted
Yeah.
to make sure that across the brand, anybody who engaged, would have a consistent experience, which is really
Hmm.
hard to do with 210 communities.
Oh,
It's like
yeah. Oh, that's a
really,
lot.
really hard to do. So we were inspired by Donna Cutting, who we hired as a consultant, and she had written a book about the celebrity experience and red carpet tours. And so we took it and we turned it into, how do we plan for the tours to really personalize them, to get to the really top wants and needs and underlying motivation and resistance and
Right.
concerns and aspirations
Yeah.
and then making sure that there was a sign and a parking spot with their name on it so they
Oh,
wouldn't have to circle, and then when they came in at the front desk had that welcoming so they knew that they were expected, because I always say the hardest time is walking between your car and that front door, especially in needs-based care. Not so much,
yeah.
not
Yeah.
55 plus active adult can be a lot more aspirational.
Yeah.
But then to see a sign with their name on it, like immediately, like, oh, they're expecting me. They know I'm coming.
Yes.
We would put up a sign at the time clock for all the employees to say, we're rolling out the red carpet today for Kiera. She's here with her mom. Have your mom's name. Here's three
Yeah.
three fun facts about Kiera and her mom. If you have an opportunity to engage with her, during the visit, these are some kind of talking points.
Right.
And then the
Absolutely.
last step was to have a red carpet tour, kind of almost like appointment card next step,
Yeah.
because a lot of times we just walk everybody to the door and we're like, oh, call me. See,
Right.
like
It's like, bye.
there is,
I'll call you every day for the next 5 months.
and then I'll move you to cold, and then I'll
Right.
move I'll move you to lost, and that's going to be it. But maybe talk a little bit about where the fall off is when you work with teams that have a low tour to move in conversion
Mm,
or tour to deposit, however you're
yeah.
measuring it. What are the consistent gaps that you see, and how do you coach them?
Yes, that is the gap right there. When I talk about the tour, it's like we spent all this money. I said, guys, think about how much money it took the investment on that one prospect by the time you get them there, tour, all the things that marketing has done, and then you just let them walk out the door. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
There's something you've got to hold on. There's something they either said, there's something that you need to provide for them. I'm going to call you with that phone number for whatever. Oh, you talked about the pet. We talked about your that veterinarian place I told you about. What you've got to have something that's going to hold on to the
Yeah.
next step. You can't just stand there and, okay, we're going to just keep calling you and keep inviting you to our place. There's got to be something. So, a deeper discovery, understanding them a little bit more while they're there on the tour, even the family member, how can we connect the dots with them? Because once they leave, like that's such a critical time. That's where the process begins to slow down because we don't have a next step. And
Yep.
it's not necessarily the next step is I'm going to call you. What is the next step for them? What
Yep.
what is, or they say, hey, I'm not ready right now, probably in about a year, where there's still things, even now, that you can support them with that gets them prepared for a year. So it could be, oh, well, you mentioned you had a storage unit. That, you know what? You could probably be working on that because you're not looking to move in for a year. And I have the right person that can contact you and they'll talk to you about your storage unit. That's it. That's the next step.
Yep.
Really holding on to how can I support them and be a resource to them during, right after the tour. What is that piece?
Awesome.
Mhm.
Well, I have so enjoyed our conversation. I can't believe the time's gone by so fast,
I
but I want
know.
to make sure that you have an opportunity to tell everybody about your company, what you do, how you help, and how people can get in touch with you.
Thank you. Well, I definitely, KD Consulting Group, we help organizations to elevate their presence, bridge any type of gap from interest to action. What is that delay in between for them, building relationships and partnerships, also executing revenue. Of course, everything that we do, we want some result, whether it's more clients, more revenue, whatever it is, there is a purpose, but also being genuine and understanding what the brand is. So I do talk a lot with when I'm coaching, I immerse in another, training that I do, You Are the Brand, which really does help people to start with the foundation of who they are, their values, and how their values align with whatever relationships or work, mission, vision, purpose that they're aligning with. If there's some misalignment, you're probably not going to be happy. If I don't like sales, why am I in sales? Or
Yeah.
if I don't want to, go through this process, or I don't really like, working in senior living or whatever I'm doing, there's some value misalignment. And so it's really about reestablishing that, brand, figuring out who you are, what your purpose is, does it align with what I'm currently doing, and then how to advance and move forward. So we talk a lot about that, and then talking about, how we show up, being genuine, being who we are. No, everywhere we go, there we are. So
Yeah.
just, we're always marketing, we're always branding. So if I don't believe in what I'm doing, it's going to be hard to brand. It's going to be hard to show up for them. So that's a lot of what we do right now. Group coaching, sales coaching, individual, of course. And I've also built some programs
Yeah.
with some companies to help them to have like we talked earlier, kind of that building in the sales process. And I always tell people, especially in the senior living industry, I'm not replacing sales training. That's already that those sales trainings already exist.
Yep.
What I do, I start to weave in pieces of my theory and my experience and how to take what's already established and be an extension of it, right? So
Yep.
like I told you, the logistical cues, the barriers, here's a great time to do this. So that's why I was so excited when I was reading your book. I was like, oh, we could probably do some things together.
Well, we definitely should talk about that. Well,
But yeah, you could reach me. Anybody could get in touch with me. My email is kd@kdconsults.com, and my website is www.kdconsults.com. And yes, this is my book, After the Tour, that can be bought anywhere sells books.
that's awesome. Well, that's wonderful. I hope people will visit your website. I know you're also very active in LinkedIn, so
Yeah,
people can connect with you there. And we'll have all this information and links to buy the book and everything in our show notes. So make sure that
thank you.
everybody visits there. And Kiera, thank you so much for sharing your senior living
Thank
marketing
you.
perspectives. Take
I
care.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.